We've finally found out why the Roman Empire fell 1500 years ago. The Eastern Roman Empire collapsed after losing a war. It turns out the Romans miscalculated their Persian opponents. This caused their downward spiral, leaving them weak. The rise of Islam essentially wiped out the once powerful civilization. The two groups were at war from 54 BC to 628 for control of territories. The Persians took over Roman trade routes. These routes were critical to victory. Without access to trade, the economy quickly collapsed. It forced people in the Roman Empire to flee to other regions like Constantinople. This was discovered by a team of researchers. They analyzed shipwrecks throughout the Mediterranean. They identified a timeline for when Roman ships began to disappear. At their peak, the ships lined the shores by the hundreds. By the second half of the 7th century, they dwindled down to just dozens. Roman goods from the same time period were also analyzed. The team looked at tens of thousands of sites between numerous regions. The goods came from Israel, Tunisia, Jordan, Cyprus, Turkey, Egypt, and Greece. This suggested the group was still in the midst of trading. This means that there was no decline in the late 6th century. On the contrary, there was an increase in prosperity and demography. Apparently, it was only the collapse of trade routes that doomed the empire. Previous research had suggested that a plague decimated the Roman Empire in 543 AD. Another theory blamed a climate shift that peaked in the mid-6th century, but the new study disproves both hypotheses. The Eastern Roman Empire was at the height of its power in the 6th century. The researchers began their investigation by dating pottery. They discovered more than 16,000 pieces of pottery from Nasana. It's a city located in the southwest Negev desert in Israel. The pottery was traded by the Roman Empire during the late 6th and early 7th centuries. This confirms that the civilization was still thriving. The team found an increase in the number of pottery shards after 550 AD. This indicates an increase in the industrial capacity and prosperity of the region. Then the researchers used a shipwreck database for analysis. They found that during the 2nd century, the number of Roman shipwrecks stayed consistent. Between 200 and 300 shipwrecks occurred every 50 years. At the very end of the 5th century, the number declined almost 50%. That was due to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The number of Roman vessels dropped to just 67 by the second half of the 7th century. This signifies that their trade routes were cut off, according to the researchers.
This decline was most probably an outcome of the Persian War and the Islamic conquest shortly after, which deprived Constantinople of most of the territories that were previously under the rule of the Eastern Roman Empire.